Members of the Guyana Police Force Special Organized Crime Unit SOCU are coming under fire for the unlawful arrest of attorney-at-law Tamika Clark. This was after the attorney advised her client to remain silent during questioning. Clark was arrested for 40 minutes and she now plans to take legal action against the Guyana Police Force. She said she was threatened by an officer of SOCU that she would be locked up if her client did not give a statement.
Romana told me, you're going to come back, you and your client are going to come back on Thursday at 1 p.m. And if your client does not give a statement on Thursday at 1 p.m., I will arrest you. I said, you are arresting me for advising my client to remain silent. He said, counsel, all I can advise you is that counsel will need counsel. And we left. My client and I left. Thursday, the time was changed from 1 p.m. to 2. When we went to SOCU Thursday afternoon, we were advised that Romana is busy for the next 2 hours, that we should return Friday at 9. So my client arrived a few minutes before me on Friday, this morning. So when I arrived, my client came out and we spoke. My client told me while he was there, they had a statement there already and was asking him to read it and sign it. So I spoke with my client, and my client indicated that he indicated to the officer who was there, Mr. Duke, he's following his attorney's advice, and he will not be signing any statement. We were told to wait because Roman is in charge of the investigation and he's in the boardroom, and that we can't leave without him signing the statement. If he doesn't sign the statement, then we have to wait for Romana. My client indicated to me that he's been coming so often and nothing is being done. He wants to leave because he has to work. I went into the office. There were 3 officers there, Duke, a Sergeant Singh, and another officer. I asked the officers, is my client under arrest? They told me no. I said, my client wants to leave. If he leaves now, will you try to arrest him? And they said, counsel, cooperate with us, cooperate with us. I said, if my client leaves, will you arrest him? Then Singh stated, call Romana. So I waited. They called Romana. He came downstairs. He entered the room with the officers. My client and I were outside of the room. He told the officers, she preventing her client from giving a statement? Is she preventing her client from giving a statement? Speak up. Y'all tell me, is she preventing her client from giving a statement? Arrest her. So he told an officer whose name I don't know at this time, arrest me for obstruction. Then Romana came, told me, follow the officer upstairs, and told my client, go in that room and give a statement. I followed the officer upstairs. They placed me to have a seat in one of the chairs in the room upstairs. The officer who arrested me is a male officer, took my phone from me. And then one of the officers, another officer there, said, get the female rank from the gate because she has to be the one to arrest her. The female rank came up. They started to prepare statements, started to prepare a record in a book. They came, they asked me my name. I tried to leave. I got up and I was walking out. Sergeant Singh ran and blocked the door. Then Sergeant Singh went back and he started to make a record in a book. The officer who arrested me stood by the door, so I couldn't leave. The female officer came, she said she wanted my watch. Take off the watch, take off the watch. I didn't say anything. I remained silent until my attorneys came. And then when Mr. Hughes would have assisted.
It was not until the arrival at SOCU of her attorney Nigel Hughes that Clark was released. Hughes, at a press conference, lashed out at the police.
Because it means that the law and those responsible for enforcing the law clearly are under the impression that the law enforcement agencies are entitled to disregard the rule of law. Now, I don't know if the Bar Association is going to say anything about it, but what I can certainly say to you is that legal proceedings will be brought by Ms. Clark. She will confirm this to ensure that this does not happen to any other member of the legal profession in Guyana once they're exercising their right as counsel to advise their clients in keeping with the law. It is a frightening place, and I hope that my colleagues at the bar appreciate the threat that we are all under as a result of, don't know, probably before most of you were born, there was a very famous Trinidadian lawyer who was arrested in court for contempt, and that's in court. Ramesh Raj, I think it was, who took the court case all the way up to the Privy Council. You can't have the state locking up lawyers, because what is the clear intention here? That every other lawyer, understand this happened to another lawyer last week, and of course the lawyer fled. The intention here is that every time a lawyer goes to the police station with a client, and they say to the client, remain silent, the law enforcement agency will lock up the client and the lawyer. That is the consequence of this. That's why this has to be vindicated by the court, and we will see if the judiciary has a view that is as strong as those of us at the bar who think that this is an absolute outrage.
By late this afternoon, Attorney General Anand Nandalal said he instructed SOCU to release the attorney.
Called Mr. Karim Baksh and inquired of the circumstances surrounding the alleged detention of Ms. Tamika Clark, and he offered an explanation. In that explanation, of course, he confirmed that Ms. Clark was being detained. I advised Mr. Karim Baksh to immediately release Ms. Clark from police custody. I made contact also with the officer who was conducting the investigation, and I advised that Ms. Clark ought to be released immediately.
The Police Office of Professional Responsibility was instructed to launch a probe into the arrest of Attorney-at-Law Clark.